Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. It's Charlie, as always, and I am back with a reaction video. I think we all know what I'm reacting to, unless you've been under a rock for the last few hours today. Just before we get into it, as always, please smash that like button. Please subscribe if you're new to the channel. We're almost at 2k. Really appreciate everyone that subscribed recently. One last little push to get us to 2k, and then we can kick on even higher, can't we? And share all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. So then, the news that we all wanted to hear today has happened. Jesse Marsch has officially been sacked by Leeds United. He's been relieved of his duties after the 1-0 defeat away at Forest yesterday. It got very toxic in the away end from the videos that I've seen on Twitter, outside and inside the ground. Leeds fans fighting amongst each other, trying to fight with Nottingham Forest fans. And you could just tell it had a really awful feel about it. I'll be honest, I didn't think they were going to let him go. I wanted this to happen. I did. For the good of our Premier League status, I wanted this to happen. But very briefly, I do just want to... This might sound really daft and people might be thinking, why am I saying this? But I do want to thank Jesse Marsch for all his efforts, because he's obviously tried. Like, let's not make out that he's not tried. You can tell he's a passionate and an emotional guy. He wears his heart on his sleeve, and you could tell he was really trying, and he really felt that the results would come. But it was very evident to us as fans, probably to the players, and now the board, that was never going to happen. Now, he could have gone to Scum on Wednesday night and got a result like he did at Anfield famously that night in October. But then would have probably gone on another run of about 8 or 9 games without winning. So, where was the line going to be? If we didn't get rid of him now, when would we? Sort of thing. Obviously, he kept us in the division last season by the skin of our teeth. We'll always be thankful for that, especially if we can stay up this season and push on. We'll always have Marsch to thank for that. But other than survival, the Chelsea win and the Liverpool win are probably the only positives that I can see out of Jesse Marsch's tenure. I think back to that awful game against Aston Villa at home at the back end of last season. Never noticed it. I've never felt it be that toxic at Ellen Road in a long time. I think back to Leicester away this season a few months ago. Awful. Fulham at home. Awful. It's just not been good enough, has it? And I'm glad that the board have made the decision now. Whether we get a new man in by Wednesday night, I think that's very highly unlikely. Even if we manage to get one over the line on Wednesday, it'd obviously be too late. Hopefully we'll have one in by the second Scum game on Sunday at Ellen Road. But as much as I am happy that this has happened, because I did feel like it needed to be done, it is also a massive risk at the same time, isn't it? To sack a manager halfway through a season, given the position that we're in as well. Should we have done it in around October, November time when the form was really bad? Maybe given the new coach, the World Cup break, a January transfer window? Because we've kind of done to Marsch similarly what we did to Bielsa. We let him have the January transfer window, and then we've sacked him shortly afterwards. I think they gave Bielsa longer after the window last season just due to the fact that Bielsa had a lot more credit in the bank. But Jesse Marsch didn't have that level of credit in the bank, did he? Like, let's just be brutally honest here. He didn't. And look, I wish him all the best. But it was time for a change. Who we bring in is the very interesting question now. Obviously, we need someone that plays with width, that is tactically astute, that can apply pragmatism, that can sort the defence out at the same time. Now, we know that, look, if we get a new coach in and his first game is scum at home on Sunday and he loses, we know that that was probably going to happen anyway. But if we start seeing results, then you might think, right, okay. But again, who do we bring in? Obviously, the names that have been mentioned so far, ones that I just don't want. Lampard, get in the bin. Never want to see that man in charge of my football club. Steven Gerrard, no thank you. Did well at Rangers, but couldn't hack it in the Premier League at Aston Villa. And you could argue that they've got a better squad and he still couldn't hack it there. So, no thanks. Obviously, there's Rafa Benitez I've heard mentioned as well. I wouldn't want him because that's a short-term plan. I want a long-term plan. Obviously, there's Valverde. Yeah, I would be okay with that. There's the guy at Celtic. I really can't say his last name. I do apologise, but everyone knows who I mean. The guy at Celtic, yeah, I can understand that link. I won't mind that either. There's the River Plate manager. Is it? I've forgotten his name as well. I'll probably get it horribly wrong. But apparently, he's done well there and he would be capable of a big move. All right, fair enough. But Carlos Corberán is the name that's getting said a lot more at the minute. And it was actually mentioned by Fabrizio Romano at the time of the announcement. I can understand why people maybe don't want him. And I can maybe understand why the board would probably want someone with more experience at this crucial time. But if there was one, if it was my decision, I would be picking Carlos Corberán. I would. I think he's got a very impressive CV so far in England. Yes, he's not managed in the Premier League, but Marsch hadn't managed in the Premier League. Bielsa had never managed in the Premier League. Corberán worked with Bielsa, so he'll obviously have a lot of similar ideas in an attacking sense as what Bielsa did, the wide, expansive football. But the difference is he actually applies pragmatism and can sort of defence out as well. He took Huddersfield from the bottom half of the Championship to the playoff final last season. Yes, they got beat by Forest, but to get them from the bottom half all the way to within one game of the Premier League on a very, very next to nothing budget, that's very impressive. And then obviously at West Brom this season, they were bottom of the league when he took over, or in the bottom 3 or 4 in the Championship. And he's got them to 5th, and he's only lost once. So I'd be going to West Brom and I'd be paying a fee to get him out of that contract there, and I would be bringing him in. He knows Leeds United, he knows the club, he'll know a few of the players that are still there now, which is a problem in itself, but that's a story for another video. And I do think with a budget and a long-term plan, and even the squad that we've got now, I think Carlos Corberán could really get a tune out of this squad. I was saying to someone at work earlier, I said, the thing is, I actually don't think we're a rubbish team. We've got a good squad, but the way Marsch was setting us up was to fail. And for me, we were only going to go one way with him in charge, and that was down to the Championship, in my opinion. Now, whoever they bring in, I hope it's a new coach bounce. I hope the players are happy that they'll have a fresh voice with fresh ideas. And let's just hope and pray that Leeds United can get themselves out of this mess. Because I do believe if we are set up in the right way, if we play to our strengths, we can definitely... I'm not saying we'll be going for top 4 or anything like that, but I do think we could be 12th, 13th, comfortable come the end of the season. I really do. And then another summer window. In the summer, we stay up, enter a new window, we bring in some more quality, some more depth. You never know. We could push for top 10. Who knows? But right now, obviously, we are in a very sticky situation. We've got 2 games against Manchester United this week, Wednesday and Sunday. I think Chris Armas is probably at least going to take charge of the game at Old Trafford, which is just crazy when you think about it, that Man United fans hated him, said the football was awful, he's a Ragnick disciple. But he'll be at least in charge for that one, 100%. And if we go and win, do not give him the job, because that is just something that we do, innit? He'd get a fluke result at Old Trafford and he'd get a 4-year contract. You know what I mean? I don't think that'll happen anyway. I don't think we'll win, and I think even if we do, I don't think they'd offer him the job. No chance. I think we need someone that's going to play a completely different style to how Marsch would set up, and Chris Armas is very, very similar to Jesse Marsch, which is what we don't need right now, in my opinion. But yeah, that brings us to the end of this reaction, guys. Who do you want to see as the next manager of Leeds United? Are you happy that Marsch has gone? If not, please tell me why, because I can't see any Leeds fan at the minute that is not happy about this. I'm very happy that we've made the decision now, and hopefully whoever comes in can really get a tune out of these players. Hit that like button, please subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow night for my match preview ahead of the Man United game at Old Trafford on Wednesday. I'll see you then. Thank you.